Into the void.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Spencer Michaud. I'm here at the 2019 Great Lakes Astrology Conference, and I'm here with my good friends, Samuel Reynolds.
Hey.
How you doing, sir?
I'm great. How are
Good
you?
to see you. I'm doing very good. I had a little nap here, a little refreshed.
That's the way to do it.
That's the way to do it. I was fading fast, but here I got a little refresh.
I'm happy to hear that.
And, I've been trying to pin you down in the interview chair here, and
you did, right? You literally wrestled me down.
Nobody is gonna wrestle you down.
I know. Right?
Oh no, I'm not crazy. I'm not messing with
I'm like
you.
a Wolverine, right? That's
So how's it been going?
It's been going well. This is my first GLAC conference,
Nice.
and I'm having a good time.
Yeah. So you gave a couple talks already so far. Tell us a little bit about what you've been speaking about.
So yesterday I spoke on daimonic geometry, or astrology as daimonic geometry.
Okay.
So that particular talk was focused on the idea of the daimon and our guiding spirit, and how that's reflective in the whole chart.
Right.
Even though oftentimes we might use particular techniques to find it in one particular arena,
Right.
you know, whether it's like the 5 zodiacal places, you know, in terms of like your ascendant, your sun, moon, part of fortune, syzygy, you know, your prenatal new moon or full moon. Right. So I looked, you know, I came with a different spiritual focus.
Yeah.
And it was more integrating that idea of the demonic and our experience of it rather than like a technique.
Yeah.
So that was yesterday, and today was astrology and the love languages, which is there are 5 love languages. So I looked at those 5 love languages from Gary Chapman's book.
Yeah, what are they again? Let's
word of affirmation,
right?
Quality time, acts of service, receiving gifts, and I'm about to blank on the last one.
I'm blanking too.
Oh my God, how can I just blank it? I just talked about it. Because I was just running in my head. Words of affirmation, receiving gifts. Touch. Physical touch.
Yeah, physical touch.
That's one of my languages.
Yeah.
So that's the other one. Thank you.
Yep. I think my love language, if I tried to remember, I think I took the test at one point. Words of affirmation, for sure, and quality time.
Yeah.
I like spending time.
And I would
with
think
people.
so. I mean, like we talked about ways to break that down in relation to temperament.
Yeah.
So we looked at temperament, and we looked at that in relation to like the whole chart. But with a Leo rising, for example, I would imagine that it would be some quality time. Because, you know, the cholerics or the fire influence, they want to express themselves. And so they also want to be beheld. That's and witnessed.
Yes, we love to be seen.
And witnessed, right. So witnessing is important in quality sharing and quality time.
Yes.
So
cool. Yeah. Well, that sounds like a really great talk, and you had a really nice attendance in your room here.
Yeah, it was good.
And so you are also pretty active in the astrological community.
I would say so.
In a number of different roles.
Yeah.
So you have your own website, unlockastrology.com.
Thank you.
You've been doing stuff. I give a little plug for it. Go check it out. And you are on the ISAR board, right?
Yes, I am.
So what
International Society for Astrological Research.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the importance of the astrological organizations and what role you play.
That's a brilliant question. I love doing that. So I was reluctant to get involved with organizations. Yeah. So for those folks who are like, what do we need them for? You know, I can be on my own. Anything I want to learn, I can do on the web. You're not completely wrong. I mean, I think that's mostly true that now there's a lot of do-it-yourself with astrology in terms of what you can learn online, what you can learn from books, all these other things. But here's something you can't get online. This live interaction, this live focus and way of learning. And you might say like, well, Richard Weber is an individual and he's put on a conference along with other people. Why do we need these organizations? Well, here's the problem with that. What we have found, and I hope this is not true in Richard Weber's case for a long time, but when the owner or the person who produces a regional conference passes away, so there's a conference.
Yeah.
Where that's not true with an organization, because then you have a way of ensuring a legacy.
Right.
So that's something that organizations do in terms of protecting the professional integrity of astrology. I think that's something organizations do in terms of certifying. And people also ask like, well, what do I need to certify? You know, like, I mean, that's not required in becoming like a consumer or what consumers need. Well, it's for the astrologer. I think the real key benefit is that you don't know what you don't know until you like take a certifying exam, and then you have to kind of go into like out of your comfort zone to learn different things that you normally wouldn't learn.
Right.
So I think there's a good benefit to these organizations, both in terms of professional development and bringing us together.
I really resonate with the ethical guidelines that ISAR is putting out there. I think that that's been one of the most important things, and trying to spread the word on what kind of role we should have with our clients, what kind of boundaries and guidelines we should have. I mean, that's really important because we got kind of this Wild West type of feel.
Absolutely.
And it's not as regulated as something like a therapist would be.
Yeah.
And having at least a signpost and a little bit of a list to be like, hey, here's a suggestion about how to be a decent person and not, completely damage your clients. And I think that's needed. And I think it's really
absolutely useful. We have training in terms of ethics. We have training for consulting skills. Right. So that you know how to talk with clients and how to present and listen. And then we also have competency exams. So it's more so to know that you know your stuff as an astrologer.
Yeah, I like what you said about having an ability to create a legacy with conferences too, because it seems like we may be facing this with the SOTA conference recently, right? Mm-hmm. We just lost a very prominent astrologer,
Donna Van Toen,
Donna Van Toen, and now there's a little bit of confusion about what's happening next with that.
Right.
And perhaps, because we have an organization like this, that might not have been as much of an issue.
That's correct.
With connection with that.
Right.
So we have a pretty big conference coming up pretty soon, huh? With, ISAR.
So, there's a couple conferences that are coming up. So NCGR, another organization, they're having a conference coming up in September. So there's that, but then also next September in 2020, ISAR is going to have their conference. And we're really excited about that conference because we're going to have our global directors from around the world presenting like in a whole series of lectures.
Right.
So people can be introduced to what's happening in other parts of the world.
Nice.
And the other big thing is no one has to worry about missing a lecture anymore, because when you sign up for an ISAR conference, you are automatically entitled to getting all the recordings for ISAR. Every single one.
That is exciting. That is, when I heard you announce this at like one of the after parties here, and when I heard that, I was like, oh, hallelujah. Because this is one of the biggest challenges when you go to an astrology conference is there's so many tracks and there's so many things, and you generally can miss a lecture very easily. And you've made it quite an investment to go to that place in the first place, with the fee, the lodging, the travel, and then at the end of it, you're like, oh, I got to spend more money. I mean, that's such a gift. I think that's going to be a great feature of that conference in particular.
We think it's going to be a game changer.
I hope it is. I really hope
it might pick up something with other organizations. So now when you go to a conference, you just are going to expect the recording.
I hope it becomes the standard.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that you might be setting the new standard for astrological conferences. So bravo, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. That is quite a gift. So make sure that if you are, in the market for going to a new conference, ISAR 2020 is on your calendar, because you are not only going to get the experience of going and meeting up with astrologers, you're going to get the whole catalog of lectures that you can take home with you after the fact, even if you miss them.
That's exactly right. And we think this will be like a good conditioning for UAC whenever that happens, because I mean, like, ISAR brings so many different kinds of people together.
And what are the dates we're looking at for ISAR?
So it's going to be September 10th through the 14th of 2020 in Boulder, Colorado. Boulder. It's actually in Westminster, but that's between Boulder and Denver, Colorado.
Cool. Mountain View.
Exactly. It's Mountain View. Lots of land on which to roam around, literally like with Buffalo roam. But you can see that. What else is great? I mean, there's pool, fitness area. There's all kinds of things that you can do there, besides the great, campus and restaurants and things of Denver or Boulder.
Right.
So
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm very excited. We were there in April and I had a great time.
Well, I'm coming.
Good.
I'm marking it down. I'm like, that's one.
Cool.
I'm there. So Sam, do you have any other personal offerings coming up, classes or whatnot?
Well, one of the things that's happening, I don't know when this is going to air, but starting July 14th and then the 21st, through my online site, unlockastrology.com, Leslie Francis, who is a Canadian astrologer, is going to be talking about the why of relationships.
Okay.
So she's going to go into like looking at astrology to better understand like what's happening in the why. She's giving a 2-week class on Sundays, 3 to 5, on the 14th, and then the next one's on the 21st. And I say 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time.
All right.
So you can sign up. It's $30, pretty much what would be $15 a class, but it's $30 until like July 1st.
Okay.
Right. But I can extend that for your listeners and viewers.
There you go.
So just mention Spencer Michaud and you definitely get it for $30.
Nice. All right. And we can find that on unlockastrology.com.
That's right. Go to classes and you see what general classes, you'll find it right there.
Perfect. Well, Sam, this was a pleasure. Thanks for joining
me,
man.
Yeah, you're the man.
All right.
Do that. Yeah, right? Boom. All right.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.